Hey, this is Will back again from MachineLoveUs.com, and I'm back to answer a few questions about downloading and manipulating YouTube data. There were some questions from a person on the channel about getting some of this YouTube information into an Excel spreadsheet in different form. So what I'm going to do is come back to socialblade.com and look at the YouTube top 500 list that they have here and get this data into an Excel sheet that you can use. And to do that, we'll use Python and some CSV technology. So basically, what we're going to do is grab. We could do this by scraping the site, but instead, what we're going to do is just copy and paste it, because sometimes it's just easier to copy all of the data and then paste it into a spreadsheet and then move on with our lives from there. So here I go, I've copied all of this data. I'm going to go down, grab an Excel spreadsheet. I realize some folks might not have Excel. You might be able to get away with any other CSV system, something like Google Sheets, if Google Sheets allows you to get things down into a CSV that you can store locally, because we need to manipulate that CSV later on. You can see that I pasted that YouTube data here, but it's in a format that we can't use, right? So nobody wants to go through and manually manipulate this data into a format that you can use. Instead, I mean, that'll take hours, and nobody wants to do that. So instead, what we do is we save this data into the place where we have a Jupyter notebook, and then we'll be able to manipulate it. I've already saved this data. So essentially I come back to our handy dandy Jupyter notebook, and here I am in the place where I have that YouTube data that I saved as a CSV. Remember that it's this kind of funky looking CSV with all of this data that's essentially in a format that we can't use at all. All of the data is there from Social Blade's top 500 list, but we can't use it until we manipulate this. And so what we're going to do is use the modules pandas and CSV, so we can manipulate that YouTube data CSV. And essentially we're going to turn it into a data frame. Now you can read a CSV directly into a data frame and manipulate it from there, but I'm going to show you how to do this with just with CSV that we have. Okay, so we're going to store the data in this data list, and I'm going to say with open YouTube.csv as our CSV file. The reader is going to be the CSV.reader. We're going to read the CSV file. And then for each row in the reader, why not print the row, and we'll take a look at what this looks like. Notice that I'm using Python 3, and so print is a function. Okay, so here is the first row, which doesn't really mean anything. The grade, the name, I believe it's uploads, subs, and video views, and that's what we want to get into our CSV file. Upload, subs, video views, and then it goes to the second YouTube channel, the second set of stats, and it goes down from there in rows vertically. So this is a tricky task, because what we need to do is look ahead at the rows and then pull the data from the rows looking ahead and put them into an Excel or CSV format, and that's a little tricky. So I'm going to skip this first row, right? So going next on the generator, going next on the iterator will skip over this. And essentially what I can do is now enumerate the rows so that we have an index, right? So if I enumerate this iterator, it can say for the index in the row, print index row, and you'll see that we get the index. This is the 0th row, and the row itself, all the way up to, so 0 is a plus plus, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 is a plus plus, and we start the cycle again. So actually what we want to do is say something like, eventually what we're going to do is we're going to have a list of dictionaries, and each dictionary is going to be the datum that is going to be essentially a row in our data frame. So data contains pieces of datum is what I use, and we want to fill out this dictionary, populate this list, and then we'll send that list to the data frame, and that's what we can use to make a CSV file or do whatever with. Okay, so what's important to recognize here, the trick is to know that you can use modulo 6. So we have the index, so we could say something like if idx, right, let's call this mod, which is idx mod 6. And then we say if mod is equal to 0, then the datum is going to be the grade, and that's going to be the row, the string of the row. If mod, so elif, using our control flow, mod is equal to 1 if there's 1 left over, right? So modulo is the remainder when you divide the index by 6. If there's 1 remainder, then the datum is going to be the channel, and that's going to be the string of row. So it's going to be the string of the first item in the row, right? Because this is a list. If mod 2, then the datum is going to be, what do we say? Well, it's going to be uploads, subs, and video views. Uploads, int row. Now, unfortunately, there's commas in here, which is just gonna be a big pain. So we need to replace the commas with nothing. Okay, that's a little trick that you'll find out if you ran this. What did we say? Subs and video views, subscribers. And this should be an equivalency. It's an assignment. Okay, elif mod 4, and then as views, right, the video views. Now, I'm doing this in a Jupyter Notebook. You could probably make this into a little program that you run. You know, so that you don't have to do it in the Jupyter Notebook. And then if, so that's 4, so that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now if it's 5, I don't really care about this ranking, but what I do care about is getting out of this loop. So, well, so let's just run this. Essentially we'd have to do data.append datum, and then okay, so we also have this this error that we ran into, which happens when there isn't any data. So we could say if row is not equal to else 0. Let's just set it to 0 in these instances. That may be the wrong choice for later on, but this will get us past this error. Okay, so everything ran fine. And you can say the data frame is going to be pd.dataframe data. Again, I could have done this all within pandas originally, but I want to show you how CSV file worked. And so this is all the same data all over and over and over again. It's probably the last person on the list just repeated. Yeah. So that the reason for that is we didn't exit out of this loop and start these things over again, which we need to do. We need to be able to break. So what I'm going to say is this went up to mod 4. So let's just say if mod less than 5, do all of this stuff. Else, if it is 5, then take that dictionary that we've been accumulating and append it, and then reset the dictionary so that somebody new can start. We can start populating the values with somebody new. And when you do that, you get all this, which is exactly what we want. Now we have the channel, the grade, the subscribers, the uploads, the views. We can take this and we can send it directly to a CSV called formatted, whatever, youtube.csv, and then we'd have that data now in a formatted CSV file that we could do whatever with. And so, you know, there you go. There's some funky characters that we'd have to work out. I'm not sure what's going on there, but we could probably figure that out. There's probably, I'm not sure what that is, string row. There's probably some kind of stripping that we need to do. Let's see if we could like strip the white space is what you probably want to do, and then you can resolve that issue. I'll leave that to you to figure out. But there you go. Hopefully that answers some of your questions about how to do this and how to get it into an Excel spreadsheet. There's someone with a question about percentage change in subscribers. I didn't see that data on here. I mean, you could see that like over 30 days, and you see over 30 days and you have negative values, and maybe that's what they're talking about. But basically what I've given you is the beginnings of a program that you can write and expand yourself. So good luck. Thanks for subscribing. Visit machinelovus.com. Thanks. Bye.